Good morning, folks. Welcome to another daily devotional. This morning, I want us to think about words that we find in Ephesians chapter 4, verses 26 and 27, where Paul writes, "In your anger, do not sin. Do not let the sun go down while you're still angry, and do not give the devil a foothold." Paul recognizes that we do get angry at times, and there's times when it's not sinful to be angry. In fact, it is right and good to be angry. We know, for example, from the scriptures that God is angry, and God's anger is his natural, consistent reaction to anything and everything that is sinful. Likewise, we, God's children, should get angry whenever we see sin manifesting itself in our own lives or around us in society. It's right to be angry whenever we see abortions increasing in our society. It's right to be angry when we see God's moral standards being set aside, marriage being abused, people wanting to change their gender. These things are not right, and there is a righteous anger that we can exercise in such circumstances. But there's also anger that we know is sinful. And Paul is basically saying here, in your anger, do not sin. Do not allow yourself to be overcome with anger that is sinful. And of course, that is something that all of us are guilty of. It happens particularly at times in our homes. We can be angry with our spouse, angry with our children. Our children can be angry with us. And often our anger is not righteous. In fact, it is sinful. It is perhaps anger that is rooted and grounded in something that is selfish within us because we want to get our own way over and against what someone else wants. And anger can manifest itself in many ways. It can manifest itself in angry words. It can manifest itself in us losing our temper. It can manifest itself in us going completely silent and not wanting to talk to or engage with the person with whom we are angry. The old saying is that the television's on, but the sound has been turned off. And we've all been through experiences like that, and Paul says that we should not allow ourselves to continue in that state of anger. And that's why he goes on and he says, do not let the sun go down while you are still angry. In other words, before the day is out, and sooner, in fact, than letting it go until last thing at night. But at the very worst, before we lie down to sleep at night, we should deal with whatever issues there are within our relationships that are causing anger between us. We should be able to and mature enough to talk to each other and say, look, the reason I'm angry is this. I was wrong, I'm sorry. And as Paul says, do not let the sun go down while you're still angry. Don't be going to bed angry with each other, whether it's your husband or your wife or your son or your daughter or your mum or your dad. Don't go to bed angry. Sort it out. And he goes on to say this, do not give the devil a foothold. You see what he's saying? He's saying anger is a means by which the devil is able to get into your life and your relationships and cause havoc. If you go to bed angry with someone you know and someone you love, you're letting the devil get into your family life, to get a foothold there. And if he gets a foothold, before you know it, he himself will push and push to get in more. So take these words to heart, brethren. In your anger, do not sin. Do not let the sun go down while you are still angry, and do not give the devil a foothold. May God help us to take these words to heart. Have a good day. every blessing.